Am I the asshole for refusing to forgive my ex-best friend and other friends even after 6 years? I, 28 female, used to be best friends with Anna, 28 female, since high school. She was popular and outgoing, while I was the introverted nerdy friend. In high school, I had a crush on Ethan, 28 male, but I assumed that he would prefer Anna, so I stayed out of it. They started dating, and I supported her with reluctance because of their toxic on and off relationship. Over time, I grew to dislike Ethan because he was rude and mean. They broke up when we were 21, but got back together with him a year later and eventually got engaged at 23. 3 months before the wedding, Ethan drunkenly called me, asking why I rejected him. I dismissed him and said he was drunk, and then ended the call. The very next day, I was kicked out of group chats and ghosted by everyone else in our friend circle. When I texted my friends to ask what happened, they gave me the silent treatment. When I reached out to Anna, I found myself blocked. Desperate, I even tried calling Ethan, but my number was blocked too. I had no idea what I'd done wrong, and I wish anyone would tell me. That week was hell. Anna's silence hurt the most because at the time, she meant everything to me. I barely slept, battling panic attacks at night while trying to keep it together for class during the day. If not for my supportive roommates who helped me through my panic attacks, I don't know how I would have made it through. Anna and I attended the same local university, but took different courses. I waited for her outside her class. When she came out with her friends, I pulled her aside and asked what was going on. She accused me of being a fake friend who tried to steal Ethan. I denied her accusation and asked for proof, but she went silent and left. They didn't unfriend me on Facebook, but kept posting about their hangouts and the bridal shower, along with indirect jabs at me. I eventually deleted my old account and changed my number. I slowly rebuilt my self-esteem and moved on. I recently created a new Facebook account. A few days ago, I was added to a group chat for our upcoming reunion, which I had no idea about. They greeted me, calling me class president, as if they hadn't shunned me 6 years ago. I left the group, but they are messaging me. Anna kept calling, so I finally picked up out of annoyance. She told me that she was sorry for everything and wished for me to come to the class reunion party. The party didn't seem to be complete without the class president every year. She told me that she divorced Ethan after 2 years of marriage. She tried to reach out to me but couldn't find any of my socials or contact info after we graduated. I asked her why she was telling me all this when she was not important to me anymore. She cried. I ended the call and continued ignoring their messages on Messenger. My family says that forgiveness is for my own peace and that it doesn't mean forgetting, but I don't feel anything anymore, only indifference. I don't owe them anything to ease their guilt. So am I the asshole? OK Season says, if I was you, I would steer clear. The fact you said you had to rebuild yourself says a lot. For being such good friends, they sure abandoned you without even trying to see your side. They're all either dumb as hell or not worth another thought. OP says, yes, I felt deeply humiliated. My self-esteem plummeted, and I felt so small. But thanks to the kindness of those around me, my roommates and course mates, I was able to rebuild myself and rise again. But still, I want answers, but I'm afraid they're planning something or things like that, like humiliating me at the reunion party. Maybe I watch too much K-drama and C-drama. Professor Plum Did It says, quote, 3 months before the wedding, Ethan drunkenly called me, asking why I rejected him. You know what happened, right? Ethan wanted to date you, but Anna told him that you rejected his interest so he would date her, and him calling you made her feel threatened that her shady actions might be found out. So she then made up more lies that turned other friends against you. Now it's been long enough, and Ethan is no longer around, that she feels safe bringing you around again, so she hits you up. Odds are that others told her to reach out because y'all were such good friends, and if you refuse to go, she'll tell them something that makes you look bad as your reason. Regardless of whether you go or not, I'd contact someone who will be there and tell them that you won't attend because of the horrible way that Anna treated you and that you just wanted someone to know the truth so that Anna can't lie about you yet again. Don't go if you don't want to, but don't let her get away with lying about you again. OP says, whew, it's been 6 years, and I know I've healed and found better friends. My current best friends are the roommates who supported me during university. But why does it still hurt? Despite everything, I always believed my friendship with Anna was genuine. Permission West replies, it hurts because you lost your tribe and you didn't know why. The first time always hurts the worst, because you can't see it coming. As for now, keep telling her to piss off, and eventually she will. Tell her you never forgot, nothing will change the past, and that she's not a good person. You'll have to really nip it in the bud. She's looking to reinvent the past, but there's nothing good to be gained from being friends with Anna. Not anymore. And OP says, honestly, I doubt she even cares. She probably only reached out because she needed something from me. I have no interest in being friends with them anymore, but I just want to know the truth. If I ask why they abandoned me back then, would they even be honest? Or would they just shift the blame onto each other? Anna has always been the leader of their group. Whatever she says, everyone follows. I guess it really just depends then how much you care to set the record straight, because if you don't care about them, and you aren't ever going to go to any of these reunions and spend time with them, I don't know why you would waste your time defending your position if you're never going to be affected by these people. And as well, Anna is trained in shifting the narrative at this point. I don't know how well you'd do having your one shot at fixing the narrative for yourself. I don't know how well that would go. You would get your shot in there, and then Anna's been so intertwined with everyone, you don't have any evidence of your position. Anna can just twist the narrative against you again. It feels like a losing battle, does it not? There's definitely a world where you come out better for it if you do it, but the odds of that happening, I just don't see it. And now, onto the update. Just a quick disclaimer, I created my Facebook account 2 weeks ago after mustering the courage from my past trauma. I used fake names and ages for anonymity. In reality, we are all 29. My friendship with Anna fell apart when I was 23, and now 6 years later, we're 29. I know no one has noticed this so far, but I just wanted to clarify. Some people from my previous posts suggested that I reach out to Ethan. However, before I could do so, he reached out to me first. Yesterday, I received a friend request from him, along with a message from him saying hi in my messenger. So, we talked. He invited me out for a coffee this weekend so we can talk about it, and I told him not to push his luck and just answer me. I asked him about his call that night. Since most boys were too intimidated to approach me, they often asked Anna to convey their feelings to me. Ethan was one of them. Apparently a lot of boys had a crush on me back then, but at that time, only Anna received open confessions, so I assumed I was undesirable. Not that it mattered to me. I was foolishly infatuated with Anna, so much so that I would have rolled out a red carpet for her to walk on if I could. She was my entire world back then. Not even once have I ever heard about any boys in high school liking me from Anna. Apparently Anna would always come back to them with her apologetic face, telling them that I had rejected them, and repeating the insults I had supposedly said about them. No wonder some people back in high school called me arrogant and dislike me for some reason. I just thought that it was because I was a strict class president and student committee member. Unlike Anna, who was friendly and charming, I was strict, sharp-tongued, and rarely smile. I don't owe anyone a smile. Boss. Ethan explained that he was mean to me back then because Anna told him that I had said that he was an orphan abandoned by his parents. This was a particularly sensitive topic for him, as he had been raised by his grandparents since childhood. He later discovered the truth when Anna inadvertently admitted it during an argument. That moment led him to file for divorce. Ethan said that he genuinely did love Anna, but her constant insecurity and habit of bringing up my name in every argument strained their relationship. She either accused Ethan of still thinking about me or compared him to me. Anna did find out about Ethan's drunken call that very same night. They had an argument, and Ethan came close to calling off the wedding, but Anna guilt-tripped him into staying. Neither Ethan nor Anna lied or twisted the story. Anna simply told our entire friend group to stop talking to me. They knew that I hadn't done anything wrong, but somehow it was still my fault that Ethan had unresolved feelings towards me. I was, and still am, an introvert, and most of my friends back then were hers. It wasn't surprising that they followed her lead when she turned against me. They were always her friends and not mine. Anna and my ex-classmates then painted me as a villain to the other friends from high school. Ethan didn't do anything to help me because he was manipulated to hate me. His words, not mine. That is why I changed my number and deleted all of my social media accounts. While no one directly bombarded me with mean messages, I constantly saw posts that seemed to be aimed at me, even though my name was never mentioned. Ethan only revealed everything to the other friends after his divorce with Anna was finalized. Now, Anna and my ex-classmates are the ones being shunned by the others since 2 years ago. Ethan said he owed me an apology, though he knew that it wouldn't be enough after everything that happened. While he never smeared my name, he stood on the sidelines and did nothing simply because I rejected him and called him an abandoned orphan during high school. He asked me if I'll be going to the upcoming reunion party. Turns out the reunion party this time was for the 1995 high school batch. My ex-classmates probably wanted their former class president to attend for appearances. I told him that I won't go. He said that I can sit with him and his ex-classmates if I wanted to. But why would I? Brother, ew. I told him that I wouldn't be attending because I have no friends from high school. He mentioned that the others would be sad if I heard that I said that, but well, screw them. I received a lot of messages from old friends, but I didn't respond to any of them. I have no attachment towards them. I told Anna that Ethan already told me everything. She called me on Messenger again, sobbing. She admitted that she might have been a terrible friend, but that she did care about me. All those years, I was always on her mind. I was too attached to her back then because she was my first real friend, as I had no friends in middle school. I was too shy and quiet, so I couldn't make friends. Anna taught me how to make friends and overcome my social anxiety and introduce a lot of people to me. I learned to cook for her and take care of her when she was sick. I even protected her from creeps. Everything I did was for her. Now that I think about it, it was kind of unhealthy. Maybe she wanted me to be that version of myself again, only for her convenience. She begged me to try again, that she would be a better person for me. But I just ended the call and blocked her. After a few minutes of contemplating, I decided to delete my Facebook account again. I have a feeling that if I didn't, they would keep on bothering me. I'll settle with a fake account. The main reason why I made my account is to play Harvest Town anyway. Sorry for the long post. This will be my one and only update. I want to thank the 4 people who personally messaged me on Reddit. Your messages meant a lot, as not many people have done so much for me in my life. I hope my update answered your questions. Farewell. In the comments, Corfers74 asks, did you tell Ethan that you used to have a crush on him, and Anna did everything to stop you from getting together? That's so messed up. OP says, no, I don't want him to be stuck with the what-ifs. It's better if he doesn't know. Horny Rebels says, it's brave of you to confront your past. You're not obligated to forgive anyone. Prioritize your own peace and build healthy relationships moving forward. And OP replies, thank you. I really do feel indifferent now. It's been 6 years, and I have better friends now. I'm content with my life. Educational Gas 92 says, hi OP. Glad to see that you're doing okay, and happy to see what many people suspected was right. The only strange thing about this is why is anyone interested in a long-lost high school classmate while nearing 30? I mean, it makes sense if they live in a small town and people simply stumble on each other all the time, but otherwise, it's not that strange that they reached out, but once you made it clear that you aren't interested, they should just move on. Anyways, good luck OP, and keep toxic and fake people away. OP says, 1995 batch from my high school is a close-knit group, and we all know each other well. Or they just want crumbs of the drama. It's Omi Bro says, thumbs up, you were strong mentally, and OP replies, thanks, I was a mess back then. Thankfully, my roommates at the time stayed by my side and even threw away the alcohol I bought. I was planning to be a drunk mess, but they wouldn't even let me. I, for one, am glad that OP didn't go down the becoming an alcoholic to fight the demons pipeline that some people fall down. Glad to see that you did talk things out with Ethan and kind of set the story straight with him too, because he's the only one that you can really bounce evidence off of. You still weren't trying to prove anything to that group of 1995 close-knit people. Hell yeah, brother. I don't think you have anything to prove to them. I don't think you need to defend yourself. Again, I'm glad that you had that conversation with him because he probably will go and sort that out with everyone else, and Anna will look like the piece of shit that she is, because she deserves to be called out for what she did and shamed for it. Thank you for the story, OP. I very much appreciate it, and I'm glad that you're just moving on from this like you should and leaving all of that in the past where it belongs. I would love to know the community's thoughts on this one down below in the comments, though. Please spill your guts. Our next post is by user NoBathroom4158, titled, "Am I the asshole here for no longer hanging out with my niece and nephew because their mum moved on from my brother's death? Around 7 months ago, my brother passed away and left behind his wife, his son who was 10, and his daughter who was 8. My brother and I always had a close bond, and I was also a really close uncle to my niece and nephew. When my brother passed away, everyone took it really hard. My sister-in-law was inconsolable, and my immediate priority was just to be there for my niece and nephew and help them through this tough time. Last month, however, as I was heading over to their house, I saw my sister-in-law kissing some guy as he was dropping her off. I was shocked. I knew that she was going through grief, but I didn't expect her to move on so quick. When she saw me, she said she'd been seeing him for a couple of weeks through a dating app. I didn't really blame her for how she was processing her grief, but I just felt really sad for my brother's memory. I decided that I no longer wanted to be with her kids and hang out with them. My sister-in-law has messaged me many times since, asking why I'm no longer coming over, and she said she would even stop dating or seeing that guy if it meant I could be with her kids, as they really miss me. However, I told her that it's not my life, and that she should feel free to date whenever and whoever she wants. But I just can't be in her house anymore, and I need to process my own grief. Am I the asshole here? Independent Lychee says, "My mum passed away 30 years ago. My aunts used to come over every night for coffee when she was alive. When she passed away, they all said that it hurt too much to come to the house and have coffee with my sister and I. It was like we were being punished, or like we didn't matter anymore. They were so consumed with their loss. They didn't care about how empty me and my siblings were, and how we really needed them at that time." Less Volume says, "Ugh, I unintentionally did this to my grandpa after my grandma died, and it's one of my biggest regrets. By the time I had processed my grief, and it wasn't too painful to go over there, he was also on the way out. I got a few short months with him before he, too, was gone. They were both young, in their 60s, so I never thought that I'd lose them so soon. I've never really forgiven myself." Claire's Raccoon says, "Grief is different for everyone. Your niece and nephew are the only piece of your brother that you have now. Hopefully you can get to a point where you're ready to resume that relationship with them. And to top it off, those innocent kids should never be punished for the actions and decisions of their mum. Ask yourself, would your late brother be happy that you distanced his kids? Find a way around it and give those kids the attention and care that they deserve from you as their uncle. If you don't want to spend time in her house, consider arranging to pick up the kids so you can spend time with them. They just lost their father, and now they probably feel like they lost you too. I don't want to call you an asshole because you're grieving, but I feel bad for those kids. You say you've always been close with them. You led them to believe that you would be there for them, and now you're just abandoning them when they need you the most. I just don't get how you can do that to the kids. Now they've lost another adult in their life that they loved." Yeah, I started off my judgments going like, you know what, I understand, you are more than welcome to your feelings, absolutely. You take all the time you need to grieve and just cool off and come back when you're ready. And while that is valid, and it's absolutely right, I won't back down from that, I think you should have a bit of empathy for the children also, and make a compromise with yourself for them. As everyone has pointed out, what you are doing is unnecessarily cruel to the kids who have already lost so much. If you don't ever change your stance on what your sister-in-law is doing and just never come back to support those kids, how is that going to reflect on you in the future? How is that going to affect your relationship with those two kids that are the closest thing you have to your brother? I just think that, you should take the advice of the comments, have a lie down, and not make rash decisions while consumed by emotion. I think you would be the asshole for no longer hanging out with your niece and nephew, though I would understand why you did do it. I just think there's better ways around this. And now, on to the updates. Hey everyone, just a quick update. I do realize after reading the comments that I let my emotions get the better of me, and my niece and nephew did nothing to deserve this, and this is not what my brother would have wanted for his kids. They are already going through a tough time, and I shouldn't have abandoned them like that. I spoke with my sister-in-law and told her that I was willing to take her kids to do outdoor activities, or she could drop them off at my house, or I could pick them up from her house. I, however, told her that I would never step foot in her house ever again, and that it had nothing to do with her. I just needed to process my grief. My sister-in-law apologized a lot and told me she wouldn't date, and she asked again many times if I could come inside their house. I told her that it had nothing to do with her, and there was no reason to apologize. She did nothing wrong, and her dating life was none of my business. My sister-in-law did cry a lot after that, and I told her that it's okay, and it sucks that life has been like this. That's probably my only update. Thanks everyone for the advice. In the comments, Traveler says, I'm glad you realized that the kids shouldn't suffer more. I would suggest going to grief counseling to work through your grief and your feelings, especially your reaction to finding out your sister-in-law was dating. Saying, I won't come in right now, I need some space to process my feelings, not sure how long, is one thing, but saying, I will never step foot in your house again because she kissed another man 8 months after your brother's death is overdramatic and definitely comes off as trying to make her feel bad for processing loss in her way. Though it's good to be emotional and needing space, declaring never and making such a permanent statement is likely fueled by being hurt and not rational thinking. Flinflan Fluddle says, Oh, FFS, you'll never step foot in her house again? What the hell is wrong with you, man? You have a woman promising she won't effing date ever again, so you don't completely abandon her while she's grieving and trying to keep moving forward in life. Can you honestly answer whether you thought you were going to inherit your brother's kids and his wife? Because that's what it sounds like. You're mad at her for acting on attraction to another man. Think about that. She's single and widowed, and she's not your wife to control. You're acting like a toddler. As I said in your first post, I actually think you'd be an awful role model to these kids if you teach them your sexist, dehumanizing beliefs. Beagle Girl replies, That's what I got from the post. He's upset that she's not looking at him for support or something more. He's overreacting and using his brother's kids as pawns. Like, well, if you don't like me and don't want me to be that person my brother was for you, then screw you and the kids. I think maybe, just maybe that's a little bit of a reach, because we don't know why he's thinking that way. That's one of the possible ways that he could be approaching this situation, and I'd like to know why he decided that after all is said and done, he's never going to step foot inside the house. Because from the way the post is worded, it seemed like you were fine with stepping foot inside the house until you saw her kissing another man. And now it's, I'm never coming inside. So I can see why people are drawing, that conclusion from this one situation. People in the comments are going to be like, well, Reddit overreacting once again. But what is the counter-argument to this one? That's what happened. Do we have to force OP to come back on here and, tell us the exact reason? And are we going to trust OP to be a reliable narrator? And not that he genuinely does feel that way, but it's too embarrassing to say that on the internet? I don't know. I personally want to cut these last commenters some slack, because it really, to me, and I'm always biased, okay? It really does appear that way. OP's got some weird logic going on. But hey, not my circus, not my monkeys. Thank you for sharing the story with us, OP. I hope it all works out in the end for you. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.